we've talked about Beijing and New Delhi being among smoggy cities, but in Chattanooga, Tennessee, many remember when it was officially named the dirtiest city in America by air. Owen Fairclough went there to find out how they turned it around.
Went to Ruby Falls.
Archaeologist Nick Honekamp remembers Chattanooga's dirty past.
That my grandfather had to turn on the lights to see where he was going in the middle of the day, because it was one of those bad days where everything conspired to create an inversion, and part of that inversion was dirty smokestacks belching exhaust and smoke. So it was a shock to us.
In fact, all of our major cities and many of our small ones suffer from some form of air pollution.
Like many American cities, Chattanooga had industrialized rapidly through the 19th and early 20th centuries. But by the 1960s, Chattanooga's air was so polluted that chemicals were said to dissolve women's stockings. Health officials labeled it America's dirtiest city.
People wore white shirts to work and took an extra shirt, so when they went out after lunch, they could change their shirts and have a clean shirt because the white shirt would be gray.
On a day like this, you really get a sense of how bad the pollution used to be in Chattanooga. You can see just how low the clouds are hanging over the city. Imagine 50 or 60 years ago when factories were pumping out all sorts of toxic gases into the atmosphere. They would just hang over the city. But this is how Chattanoogans like to think of their city today. It took $250 million in current values, a huge sum for a small city, to limit pollution. Chattanooga cleaned up its air within 3 years. Air quality experts say investment from business owners who did the polluting, not government, was the key to Chattanooga's transformation.
Industry, got on board and said, we need to do something. We need to clean up our own house. We don't need somebody else telling us how to do it.
Today, Chattanooga has a reputation for clean air, sustainable living projects, and one of the world's greenest factories built by Volkswagen. But while city officials are proud to show off Chattanooga's environmental turnaround, Nick thinks industrial decline was the real catalyst for change.
The plants closed, and that meant there was less pollution in the air. So I think Chattanooga kind of took advantage of that happy accident. Wasn't on purpose. Everybody bemoaned losing those good-paying jobs, and then ran with it.
And that's the challenge for powerhouse economies like China and India, sustaining unprecedented economic growth while limiting pollution so that they too can enjoy a breath of fresh air. Owen Fairclough, CCTV, Tennessee.